This is a cat and it's not stressed. Can we tame our stress to be as relaxed as this cat? In the previous video, I mentioned that according to polls, over a third of the world's population feels stressed. Not surprisingly, humanity invented numerous methods to fight stress. For this video, I went through about 20 scientific articles and a book written by the most influential scientists in the stress research field to find the best methods to fight stress. I boiled all that down to top 6 methods that will definitely help you manage stress better. And make sure to stick around until the end for 2 super efficient techniques that you can use anytime, anywhere to get as cat-like as possible. Hi, I'm Reina Kim and this is the Psy-facts channel. Here we are talking about different ways to improve your life using psychological and neuroscientific knowledge. In the previous part, we've discussed what stress actually is, and the link is up there if you haven't watched it yet. And today we are going to discuss some scientifically proved strategies to fight it. And we'll start with a tiny story about Emma that could happen to anyone. Emma's heart is pounding, she's breathing heavily, her hands are shaking, her voice is trembling, and she even feels dizzy. She's restlessly pacing the room from one corner to the other. She's been looking for this perfect position for several months. Now the interview starts in 10 minutes and she's feeling so overwhelmed. She simply cannot fail it. From these thoughts, sweat starts running down her neck. Her face feels so hot that she can almost see it glowing when she catches her reflection in the mirror. She's got 10 minutes and she needs to calm herself down somehow. So she looks at the reflection and says, "It's okay, you can do it. Calm down, you are well prepared. Don't be silly." Judging by her terrified gaze, it didn't help at all. This interview is going to be a disaster. Have you ever been in such a situation? When I was a student, every exam was like this to me, literally every exam. Maybe Emma could try something else in those 10 minutes to help her stay calm? Spoiler alert! Yes, she could. In the end, I'll read about how it ended for Emma, but now let's see what science has to say about this. The first thing that any psychologist would notice is that Emma is in what's called acute stress or short-term stress. This is a type of stress that lasts only for a limited time and is usually connected to some event or situation. It can be waiting for a job interview for 10 minutes or having a public talk for half an hour or writing an exam for 2 hours. Normally, acute stress lasts for up to several hours. This type of stress can be beneficial, then it is called eustress, but you still need to know what you can do to reduce all those signs of stress. Red cheeks, sweaty palms, and aching belly. Mine was always aching during exams. Yeah, that too. And I'm going to give you my top 3 of such quick fixes with exact instructions to follow when you are stressed and have only 5 to 10 minutes to calm down. And there is another type of stress that is almost never good for us. It is chronic stress. It can be caused by financial difficulties, family troubles, unsatisfying job, and so on. And of course, the best way to deal with such stress is to solve the problem that's causing it. But sometimes it is impossible and very often it is really hard. So we need to know what we can use, which methods we can use to survive through this kind of stress. I chose 3 of those that I think are fundamental. They can help you to go through existing stress, but also prevent some stress from happening altogether. And I can bet that you've heard about one of them, but the other 2 are not so often mentioned on YouTube or anywhere else. By the way, I keep saying that these methods are for acute stress and those are for long-term stress, but in reality, all of these methods can help you reduce both long-term and short-term stress. The difference is that these quick fixes can be used as emergency tools when you have very limited time. And the other 3 methods require some kind of preparation or sometimes changing a lot in your life, but we'll talk about it later. Anyway, trust me, the time taken is worth it because this method will definitely help you reduce stress in your life. So for now, let's forget about that job interview and talk about things that Emma could do to fight stress even before it hit her. And again, like in the previous video, we'll be taking some advice from the father of stress research, the Hungarian-Canadian scientist Hans Selye. And Selye's top advice for handling stress, which I believe is the most important one, might surprise you. It is simply know thyself. It might sound philosophical, but the point is simple. If you know how you react to stress, if you know how your body reacts, you'll be able to spot when things start going south and you will be able to react before it is too late. In his book, The Stress of Life, Selye is giving us a list of signs of danger. Those are biological or psychological signs of stress that you must be on the lookout for. The list is long, but here are some examples I will read. Irritability, dry mouth, emotional instability, dizziness, undefined anxiety, inability to stay still, sweating, trembling, headaches, nightmares, indigestion. You need to pay attention to these signs, and you also need to know which of them are specifically dangerous for you. This is a knowing yourself part. Sometimes people don't even realize that their body is sending them signals that something must be changed urgently. For example, when I have to make a call in a language I'm not comfortable with, for now it would be German, my palms are sweating. And for some people, sweating palms might happen on the verge of exhaustion, which is the third stage of the general adaptation syndrome. I talked about it in the previous video, but in short, it is the chain of reactions of our body to stressors. So in the exhaustion phase, really bad things are happening. Depressions, heart attacks, nervous breakdowns, and so on. So for some people, sweating palms may mean that something really bad is about to happen. But for me, sweating palms mean nothing serious. On the other side, if I get really easily irritated and snapping at people, this is when I have to change something. Something like what? I wasn't going to talk about this, but I can, right? Okay, then here is the bonus tip from Hans Selye. He recommends distraction or deviation. Basically, what he says is when you have those scary signs of danger, you should divert your attention to another type of stress. It sounds a bit extreme to me, but this is what he wrote. By highlighting some other problem through deviation or by activating the whole body by general stress, the source of worry automatically becomes less important in proportion. So, if I shoot myself in the leg, I will immediately forget that I'm penniless and those stress-related headaches will probably go away. As I said, sounds a bit extreme, but it doesn't have to be extreme, because the idea here is that when you are in stress, try to change your focus of attention, try to move it to another type of stress. That's why physical exercises are working so well, because you are stressing your body in a purely biological way, and you just don't think for a while about all your other troubles. And it can be any demanding task. It doesn't have to be physical exercise. For example, if you need to calm down really fast, you can start counting down from 2023, subtracting 7 at every step. You can choose the numbers, of course, but this should help stress your brain and divert your attention from the stress you are already in. That sounds fun. I will definitely try that. Thank you. And that was unexpectedly the fourth quick fix that I was not going to talk about today. So let's go back to my top 3 list of quick fixes. And my number 3 is progressive muscle relaxation. This is a stress reduction technique that consists of systematically tensing and relaxing different muscle groups in your body while focusing on those contrasting feelings of tension and relaxation. If you can, sit down and relax. Start with your feet. I will use my hands for illustration. So you need to tense your toes as much as you can and hold this tension for 5 to 10 seconds. Then concentrate briefly on this tension feeling and relax it suddenly and completely, focusing on this feeling of relaxation while your muscles become limp and soft. Repeat this process with your legs, hands and arms, shoulders, buttocks, abdomen, chest, neck, and face. You can do it with only major muscle groups if you are really tight on time, or if you can and you have more time, you can also concentrate on tinier groups of muscles. The main biological mechanism here, as well as with the other 2 quick methods, is activation of the parasympathetic nervous system. When we are stressed, our sympathetic nervous system is activated, leading to that fight or flight response and all those signs of stress that we have. Parasympathetic nervous system, on the contrary, promotes relaxation and normal bodily function during non-stressful times. So its activation can help you undo all those signs of stress caused by activation of the sympathetic nervous system. And this will bring your body back to the state of relaxation and reduced stress. Some green teas may help as well, by the way, because green tea contains L-theanine. It is an amino acid that has calming and relaxing effects. Progressive muscle relaxation works great when you follow pre-recorded instructions and have some time, but you can also use it as a quick fix when you are in a stressful situation and you really need to relax very fast. The downside is, and that's why for me it is number 3, is that it looks a bit weird when you are doing it. So if you are shy and you are surrounded by people, this may be not the best method to turn to. At the end of this video, I will share my opinion on the best method, but for now, let's check out another method that you can use to reduce overall stress in your life, not just as a quick stress reduction patch. This one is actually another part of Know Yourself, and it is Know Your Stressors. Stressors are, simply speaking, things that stress us out. And Celia is encouraging us to recognize our personal stressors. By pinpointing what exactly stresses us out, we can develop targeted strategies for coping with these types of stress. For example, as I said already before, I am stressed when I need to make a call in German. My way to cope is asking a friend to make a call for me. It's more of a band-aid, I admit, but for now it works. This strategy is invaluable for dealing with long-term stress in 2 ways. First, when you are stressed, it is crucial to identify which exact aspects of the situation are stressing you out. For example, you are stressed a lot by your job. Is it your boss, unfriendly colleagues, the never-ending paperwork? Or maybe it is that stuffed air in the room where you are working. Or it is that awkward access house that you have to pass by every day when you are going to work. There may be a million reasons to be unhappy at work, and some of those have quick fixes. Unfortunately, very often people forget to think about it deeply and to analyze what exactly is bugging them. The second way how knowing your stressors helps during long-term stress is by simply reducing your stress load. When you're already going through difficult times, it is important to avoid all the other stressors as much as possible. And for that, you need to know those stressors. So to reduce your stress, it is important to do a more detailed analysis of what aspects of some events or situations are stressing you out, or which of your cognitions about those events are adding to your stress. Your what? Cognitions. Those are thoughts, beliefs, or perceptions that you have about some events or situations. For example, if Emma thought a bit more deeply about her interview-related stress, she could find out that not every interview is stressing her out, but only interviews with more than one interviewer. She could also discover a cognition that's adding to her stress level. Something like, when there are more than one interviewer in the room, they will laugh behind my back at every mistake that I make. If you identify such a cognition, you can use cognitive therapy techniques to challenge it and get rid of it. For that, you would need to answer the following 4 questions. Number 1, what is the evidence for my point of view? For Emma, it would be, did I ever see people laughing at me? Number 2, are there other ways of viewing the situation? Again, for Emma, that would be, okay, they were laughing, but are there some other possible explanations why they were laughing? Number 3, what is the worst outcome of the situation? I will make a mistake and they will laugh at me. Then what will happen? And number 4, how could you cope with the worst case scenario? Okay, they will laugh at me, they will not hire me, so what? Answering these questions can help see clearly what feels so dangerous, and in many cases it can also help stop those feelings. As Sun Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher, wrote in his book The Art of War, know your enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles, you will never be defeated. And what do you do before the 59th battle? You can count down from 2023. You can use progressive muscle relaxation, or you can use my number 2 on the list of best quick fixes when you are stressed. And that would be mindfulness meditation. It is a mental practice that involves focusing your attention on your breath, observing your thoughts and feelings without being judgmental about them. One part that works here is diverting your attention from past, those 2 guys were laughing at me at that interview, or the future, oh, they will laugh at me, I will definitely make a mistake, to the present moment. I'm just breathing here and nothing is happening. And that's how you do mindfulness meditation. It is better if you can sit comfortably with your back straight but not rigid. Set a timer for 5 minutes. You can close your eyes or keep them slightly open, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Take a few deep breaths to start. Then bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of each inhale and exhale. Feel the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. You can also silently note inhale and exhale to stay focused. As you focus on your breath, some thoughts will definitely appear in your mind. This is completely normal. If this happens, notice them without judgment or self-criticism and try to return your attention gently to your breath. For example, you can imagine that your thoughts are passing clouds in the sky. I like to imagine that I am in a glass container so that everything that's happening is happening outside and it cannot get to me. When the timer goes off after 5 minutes, take a few deep breaths and slowly open your eyes if they were closed. Sit for a moment to transition back to your present reality. Why I love this method is because it is so versatile. Emma could use it to reduce stress before her interview, but tuning to a present moment also helps emotional regulation, weight control, improving your concentration, pain management, and so many other things. Of course, it is a skill, and like with progressive muscle relaxation, it gets easier with practice, but it is also invaluable in the heat of the moment. Now, before I move to the number 1 on my list of quick methods to use when you have only 10 minutes to reduce your stress level, let's talk about the method number 3 that you can use when you are ready to put in some time and effort to get some great results. This way to scientifically fight stress is very boring. So boring that I won't even talk about it much. Research on this topic is abundant. Everybody knows it, but very few are really doing it. And this is healthy lifestyle. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, good sleep, blah, 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 blah. You knew it, of course, but I could not skip it because together with knowing yourself and knowing your stressors, healthy lifestyle can cut your stress down in half, if not more. Now let's check out on Emma. Where did we stop? Here, this interview is going to be a disaster. Fortunately, just a couple of days ago, Emma had watched a video about something that could help her. Now, as she stood helplessly in the middle of the room waiting for her interview, she remembered it and decided to give it a try. She grabbed a chair, sat down more or less comfortably and closed her eyes. To anyone who might have entered the room, it looked like she was just sitting there doing nothing. But after some minutes, they would have noticed that her hands became steady and her cheek color returned to normal. Emma opened her eyes and reached into her bag, taking out her CV. She examined it for a minute, a satisfied smile touching her lips. She was a perfect candidate for that ideal position. Just then, the door opened and she was invited into the interview room. I'll spare you reading the rest, I've already read it. So, after about 2 weeks, Emma was invited for the second round. And after another week of agitated waiting, she secured the position. After that, she's been using this method always before important meetings. And I would love to say that all of them were successful, but it's real life, so no, she had bad days too, but she was never again seen with flushed cheeks or trembling hands, even in toughest times. But you know what? They never said what the method is. That's what I'm going to talk about right now. I'll watch your video. When are you posting? Press already that bell, you'll get notified. I hope you are subscribed at least. And I'm recording here, please stop interrupting. Those people, huh? Where was I? Right, the killer method. Now I'm going to give you precise instructions for the number 1 on my list of methods to unwind and relax when I'm tight on time. Well, actually, this is not one method, but a group of methods, and those are breathing techniques. There are a ton of them, but I will mention 2 that you can use right on the spot. And the first one is the alternate nostril breathing, and this is how you do it. Of course, it's better if you can sit and relax, but if you are in a different situation and you have to stand, it's completely okay. So to do the alternate nostril breathing, close your right nostril and inhale through the left one very slowly. At the top of the breath, pause shortly, closing both nostrils, and then exhale through the right nostril. When your lungs are empty, pause shortly again, blocking both nostrils, and then start over with the left nostril closed. I will repeat. Inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right one. Then inhale through the right nostril, exhale through the left one. Repeat this for at least 10 cycles. Another breathing technique is called cyclic sighing, For this one, inhale slowly through your nose until your lungs are fully expanded, and then take another inhale to maximally fill the lungs. The second inhale will be much smaller than the first one. Then you exhale as slow as you can through the mouth until you completely empty your lungs. Repeat this for 5 minutes. Cyclic sighing is a wonderful technique that proved to be very effective. So these two are my favorite go-to methods when I am stressed. Easy to do, practically invisible to others, very fast and so effective. Really love it. If you want to know more about the efficiency of cyclic sighing, watch this video where I discuss the recent research on breathing methods that make us feel happier. I hope in this video you found something that you could use in your everyday life to reduce your stress level. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so that more people can benefit from it. This is it for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!